Hi there. Welcome to NAPMA's Martial Arts Business Breakthrough TV. Today's episode is brought to you by the 2011 NAPMA Financial Power Summit, coming to a city near you. The 2011 Financial Power Summit is coming to a city near you. In these full-day events, 5 industry leaders collaborate to help you add $100,000 or more to your income this year. First, Master Kirk Pelt will reveal 4 strategies that he's using in his schools to drive new intro and enrollment traffic using social media. Then, Master Keith Winkle will describe how he's been leveraging a special event committee and strategically planned special events to drive 25 or more new enrollments each month into his school. Then, I'll spend some time with all of our attendees outlining the 5 fundamental commonalities between the most successful martial arts entrepreneurs in the country and how you can apply these 5 principles to your business. Then, Grandmaster Y.K. Kim, a pioneer in the martial arts business, will describe how to take 3 steps to become one of the new martial arts millionaires and to turn this economic crisis into a profitable opportunity for you. And finally, NAPMA CEO Stephen Oliver will outline a key 3-step process that he's used in hundreds of schools all across the planet to maximize your income and explosively grow your school to the next level. The Financial Power Summit is coming to the New York, New Jersey area, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles, California. For all the details, please visit napmaseminar.com. Hi everybody, Toby Milroy again. And our next member question was kind of a parallel of what we talked about a little while ago, was since we're all paying attention to pretty much everything that moves through the industry, pretty much every product, every service, every website. What have been the most dangerous industry trends that you've seen, especially considering the the latest economic upheaval we've had? What trends are killing the most schools, are crippling the industry, most broadly in your analysis?
Well, I think there's 2 things. John Worley, who's old friend of mine from the Junior lineage, grew up with Pat Burleson and Alan Steen. He wrote a marvelous article that we're going to use for the magazine called "Stick to Your Bush." And what he said is over the years people have pestered them to and suggested they were going to go out of business if they didn't do Krav Maga, Kung Fu,
fitness
kickboxing, the list of things that have come through the industry. And if you take a long view of it, so if you go back to, let's say, 1970, you had the Kung Fu series trend, so everybody wanted to say they taught Kung Fu. You had the Olympic Taekwondo series, so everybody wanted to say they taught Taekwondo. You had Jeet Kune Do being very popular at one time. You had Eskrima and Silat being very, very popular at one time. You had obviously the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trend that came in, and a bunch of other stuff, and of course fitness kickboxing, and now MMA. And so you have all these things, usually that are trends that are exciting and interesting to martial arts guys, not usually things that are out in the public awareness, right? So in the public awareness was Taibo. The public awareness right now is MMA as a spectator sport. But much of the other stuff was just a bunch of martial artists were suddenly excited about learning some new thing, right? And so the first problem is in the confusing your activity with your business with your hobby, right? So just because it now looks like it's cool to learn Filipino arts, or just because it now looks like it's cool to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because Chuck Norris or somebody is doing it, doesn't mean that that's what you should put into your curriculum in your school. It certainly doesn't mean that what you should teach your first-year students, right? Now the second thing is what's going out in the market, and that's a little bit harder to discern, because when Taibo was coming through, there really was a big demand for fitness kickboxing. I mean, it was flooding in because Billy and Billy's people were spending a ton of money on TV to create that as a participant idea. Right. MMA, I think, is completely different, and my analysis of that is twofold. One is MMA as a curriculum I've been doing since the 60s. Hell, we all started with judo. We were doing ground fighting. We were doing pretty much all the stuff all the way through. And even, we were talking about Pat Burleson, it was boxing, judo, wrestling, martial arts. Bill Wallace started as a collegiate wrestler and with judo. Chuck Norris started with judo. One of my instructors was a judo black belt. we all did all of that stuff, right? It's so from a curriculum, it's wonderful. It's a perpetuation of Bruce Lee's philosophy from the '60s. Is now you're teaching all ranges and all of that. Now the next piece of it is MMA as a participant activity being driven from the media, and see what UFC is a spectacular spectator sport. But not a lot of the people who go to the bar on Saturday night and have a beer with their 5 friends watching Pierre or whoever it is fight say to themselves, gee, I wish I could be in there with that guy, right? I remember the Vander Holyfield Mike Tyson fight. Biggest fight to date, both were the 2 biggest purses to date. I don't think there was a flood of boxing gyms after the first or the second fight to go be a participant. The other piece of that is, even if I'm wrong on that, even if there's a flood, and we're watching the internet traffic, so we know that it's coming up.
Number 5, yeah.
Yeah, number 5 after, explain what number 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are.
Martial arts, karate, kung fu, which is interesting, and then...
well, it's understandable, Kung Fu Panda, Karate Kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And now mixed martial arts has made its way into the top 5. So.
Yeah, into the top 5, and a lot of people would perceive that as number 1, but by far, but it's not.
Not by a lot,
But the second thing is, if you look at the economic trends and now mesh it with that, is everybody's concerned about the employment and the economy, but the reality is, if you're 30 and up, college educated, and meaning you have a college degree or advanced degree, white collar suburban neighborhood, the unemployment rate is 4.1 or 4.2 or 3%, which is what's called transitional unemployment. It's just guy quits this job and goes to this job, and that's pretty much full employment. However, if you're 25 and under with less than a college degree, the unemployment approaches 15 to 20%. If you're if you don't have a high school degree and you're under 30, it's almost 20-25%. So what happens is, the last thing you want to be doing is targeting 20 to 30-year-old males without a college degree, right? And it's even worse than that, because the latest trend is, I was just watching this on the news last night, is that under 30-year-old males tend to be adolescent and don't have a real job. Under 30-year-old women tend to be college educated, are pursuing professional degrees, and there's a mismatch there. I mean, so there's even another trend there, that these young guys don't have a real career and don't have a strong income. So the last thing you want to do is be targeting the ones that don't have a real income, who are going to drop out quickly. The thing I hate about fitness kickboxing is 25-year-old girls. They were there for 90 days and it was on to the new thing. That's where Sean Harvey's doing a great job, is it's 35 and up women who are looking for professional development as well as weight loss, as well as health, as opposed to 25-year-olds who are going to come and go quickly.
And his numbers are exactly on the money. It shows exactly what you're describing in his statistics. This is a very stable part of his market, and it's much more useful. I totally agree. I think a piece of what you're describing too is that very often the industry is sold on the concept that if I want to add an extra $3,000 to $5,000 a month to my revenue, the way to do that is to buy this program and plug this program into my current curriculum.
Right.
Maybe that program was fitness kickboxing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's some kind of a fitness program or an MMA program or a preschool program, something like that.
Yeah.
Where in the grand scheme of things, to build an elegant system that works really well, the real growth opportunity is in going back to the basics and making sure that the intro ratios are tight and the sales ratios are tight and the upgrade ratios are tight. There's much more revenue opportunity in that, in perfecting that, than there is in plugging on the next new curriculum.
Well, and said differently, if you look at the top schools in the United States, from the standpoint of net profit, quality students, quality impact on their environment, and I one example, we were just talking with Keith Hafner recently, and he has 370 active students, grossing $70,000 a month, more or less. He's got fabulous student quality. He's got fabulous reach in the community. He's got a dropout rate of 1.8% a month, and he's got a curriculum, right? He's got one program. Steve LaValle, who's another one who's been very successful for many years. I mean, these aren't flashes in the pans. You and I aren't, they aren't. And what you very rarely see, although there are some, is you very rarely see the example of the mega school that has 20 things going on, right? An experience I had 15 years ago with Fred Degerberg is he had a 13,000 square foot with like 25 different curriculums, and what we concluded was that 70% of the people coming in the front door really were just looking to train. They didn't have a predisposition. And so we created this blend curriculum, literally in a Thai restaurant, pulling everything together so that 70% of the people coming in the front door would just be put into that funnel.
Exactly.
And
which goes back to the basic of handling the information call, handling the marketing,
Right.
so that it drives people into the right frame of mind
Right.
when they come into school. It's not about selling Kung Fu versus Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
It's about selling the real benefit that the student's going to get.
well, you can also go back to what's the worst idea, is another bad idea that I see happen over and over and over again. People who are perceived to be high-level marketing experts are creating ads that are trying to be all things to all
Right,
people,
right.
right? So you see this ad, and here's a girl in boxing gloves, and here's a guy in a jiu-jitsu uniform, and here's a kid.
Preschool kid.
Yeah, and there's like this mishmash of different messages and different targets. What you want to be doing is rifle shotting the prospect that you want, not trying to be all things to all people. And I think the consolidation that's going to happen in the industry is somebody being the absolute best at the 35 to 50-year-old adult female market, or being the absolute best at the 4 to 8-year-old kids character development market, or the absolute best at the family market, or the absolute best at the MMA 20 to 35-year-old adult male market. But it's not going to be people trying to be all things to all people, because that's fraught with peril.
Yeah, well, it turns off the other segment of the market.
Exactly.
The notable marketing campaign I remember, having a lot of experience with was, putting the power lifter guy next to the, upscale mom of two kids.
Mhm.
Well, that turns them both off.
Oh,
The
yeah.
power lifter doesn't want to share the gym with that mom.
No.
The mom doesn't want to share the gym with the musclehead. So,
Exactly.
it just turns both markets off. So,
Yeah.
but I totally agree.
Yeah, well, that's where, at the low end, something like Curves has been very good, or LA Boxing has been very good. At the other end, World Gym and Gold Gym has been very good, because people have an immediate image of what it is, and why it is they want to go to that business. So, yeah, you just can't be all things to all people. You've got to choose a niche that you're going to be good at. A good friend of mine in Tulsa, Oklahoma, actually, I walked into their school, and here you have this big kids class going on, but they had launched a MMA, no-gi, jiu-jitsu program in the second classroom. So here's all these upscale moms dropping their kids off in Range Rovers, and all these sweaty guys are coming out with 28 tattoos and Speedos while the kids class is going on. It's just the wrong message to have, right? If you're going to have that thing going on, it's the same thing I didn't like about cardio kickboxing at the time, is if you have 9-year-olds in uniforms bowing to the flags, you don't want to have 19-year-olds in leotards wearing their tennis shoes on the floor that they see each other.
Cross me. Yeah, absolutely right.
Thanks for watching NAPMA's Martial Arts Business Breakthrough TV. As a free gift just for watching today, we're excited to be able to give you a special gift that can really make a measurable positive impact in your business fast. First, we'll give you a free copy of Stephen Oliver's popular book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 22, compiling and crystallizing the biggest lessons NAPMA CEO Stephen Oliver has learned in his 30-plus year career of running a highly successful martial arts school chain. Second, a free video presentation that will help you identify the 5 fundamental mistakes far too many martial arts school owners make that kill their growth, and how to avoid them for yourself, saving you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars and trimming decades off your learning curve. And to help you take a giant leap forward with your business, Stephen Oliver and I have blocked out some time to work with our fans and viewers on a one-on-one basis. Typically, we charge $1,297 an hour for personal consulting and coaching for non-NAPMA members. But Stephen and I really wanted to help those school owners who are serious about joining the top 20% of the industry and help lead our industry to the next level. So for the next 30 school owners who visit the page on the side and complete the form, we'll provide you with a free one-on-one thorough martial arts business analysis. These sessions have been very effective at helping school owners find untapped opportunity, hidden revenue, and small tweaks that really can and do make a big difference to your bottom line. Click on the banner on the side of the page, and we'll speak to you soon. As you know, Martial Arts Business Breakthrough TV is a free resource provided to the martial arts industry by the National Association of Professional Martial Artists in our mission to help martial arts school operators operate a more professional, more successful business. So it'd really help us if you can help us share the good word and share these resources with your colleagues or friends, or perhaps your friends on Facebook or Twitter or MySpace or email. So if you would, please click the like button above the video and perhaps even share it with your friends on Facebook or Twitter or by email or other social networks. And also feel free to leave questions and comments below this post. We do choose questions below to answer live on our program, but also any question that we choose to answer on the program, we also give a free gift. So please feel free to share this with friends and colleagues with these share buttons. Click like and post some comments below. Thanks so much.